Hey, hey, hey! What is up, mortals? It is I, the Spirit of Vice, here with a new video for you today. Welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Became a Green Lantern? I just wanted to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So we begin. In the following days, after the red, orange, blue, and green lanterns descended on the planet Earth, pandemonium had ensued. Sade and Ganthet had left the fight to find prospective hosts for the green and blue entities, in an attempt to pave the way for the recreation of the green and blue lantern corps, leaving Atrocitus and Larfleeze to battle each other in the cities of Japan. Needless to say, the pros were overwhelmed at the strength the two of them possessed. The only reason that the pros were even able to contend with them was due to the fact that Dexstar had been tasked with finding a new potential Red Lantern to help Atrocitus, meaning that he wasn't fighting anyone, and because they were focused on fighting each other and viewed anyone else as mere nuisances rather than opponents. In addition, the reason Atrocitus had managed to hold out against Larfleeze was because the Red Giant had been able to knock the orange power battery away from the greedy Furball, making him less powerful than he otherwise would have been. This made Larfleeze much more erratic than he would have been, and forced him to be less focused on battling Larfleeze, while he was focusing on recovering what was his.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Larfleeze demanded, as they flew through the streets of Japan. He had completely disregarded his fight with Atrocitus to find his battery, but he had been searching for a full day and hadn't had any luck. At this rate, he may end up losing charge on his power ring. He needed his battery.
Where?
As Agent Orange was searching for his missing property, he had been blindsided by some sort of feather tornado. Stupid birds. Sorry about that. I couldn't figure out a better way to get your attention. A voice called out to him from above. As Larfleeze looked up, he saw some sort of winged human, wasn't that what they were called? Smirking down at him. The red feathers that made up the man's wings made it clear that he was the one that distracted Larfleeze.
Human!
Larfleeze demanded.
Have you come to take what is mine?
Listen, I didn't come here to steal anything of yours. You and that red guy were tearing up the entire city. Though now that you mention theft, I do recall you more so looking around while Big Red tried attacking you and any of the pros that went after you. Hawks frowned, then put a finger to his chin. Look, how about this? You tell me what you're looking for and I'll help you find it. How's that sound?
You won't try to steal it from me.
The pro smiled. Pinky promise. So long as you help bring the red guy in and clean up the mess you made. Can't let that go, you know? Larfleeze growled before relenting. He certainly needed all the help he could get. In the meantime, while Larfleeze had joined an unlikely alliance with the number 3 hero, Atrocitus was not being as cooperative. Unlike the resident of the Vega sector, the sole survivor of Sector 666 was intentionally causing havoc, with the sole goal of making it as hard as possible to find the orange battery. Not just so that Larfleeze would be weaker, but so he had no more enemies to deal with. heaven forbid someone find that forbidden snake. Alas, this streak of destruction was causing a problem for the populace of Japan, which in turn placed Atrocitus in the way of several pro-heroes, though he defeated them quite easily. But as Larfleeze was dealing with the number 3 hero, Atrocitus was fated to encounter the number 2 hero, someone who he wouldn't get along with quite as well.
Where are you, Dexter? Surely you must have found someone worthy of a ring on this backwater planet. I see inequity everywhere here.
Atrocitus screamed at no one in particular, completely disregarding the communication function on his ring. Huh. And just how does this inequity give you the right to act out, villain? A voice scoffed from behind the belligerent giant. As he turned around, Atrocitus saw a human much bigger than the rest, with hair made of flames. He was also dressed in a similarly bizarre fashion from the rest of those humanoids that called him a villain and attacked him earlier. It made Atrocitus's blood boil. Acidic blood spewed from Atrocitus's mouth, melting the asphalt around them.
You, human, are just as arrogant as the Guardians, thinking yourself strong enough to decide right and wrong, with nothing but your own might. You have no righteousness in your eyes, no sense of morality aside from your own strength, but I can see it.
His eyes narrowed as he looked forward at the raging human called both Enji Todoroki and Endeavor.
You would sacrifice everything to topple this All Might. Not because you see him as unrighteous, but because you see yourself as more worthy of his popularity. And even worse than that idiotic desire of yours, you would sacrifice a second son to achieve this dream. Was your firstborn not enough to sway you from this path?
Endeavor, no. Enji Todoroki's eyes wavered as he stepped back. No one knew about Toya. No one! So how was it that this stranger knew things that not even the other heroes did? A psychic quirk? He'd already been seen flying and shooting lasers from his ring, and just now, he'd vomited acidic blood. Endeavor didn't have the slightest clue as to who this person was. He'd just shown up a few days ago with that orange and blue one, and they'd been fighting ever since, though the blue one had just disappeared. Endeavor scowled. It didn't matter how his motivations or past came to light. All that mattered was that he won. Listen, villain. I don't know how you found out about Toya, but I don't really care. Endeavor cracked his knuckles and grinned like a maniac.
Because I'll just beat it out of you!
The flaming hero charged at the alien, who merely snarled.
Just like the Green Lanterns, with this self-righteous mentality.
Atrocitus threw a punch of his own at Endeavor, colliding head-on. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it has a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, and Kohl's. Wherever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these stores is to click that little orange button and it'll scan the entire internet to find discount codes for you. If there's a coupon code, they'll find it. And if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you are getting the best price possible. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks, 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey.
Come on, Deku! I don't care what kind of god possessed you! Show me your will!
Bakugo screamed as he charged at Midoriya, who was surrounded by an emerald aura that changed into a basic bubble shield to block him from the attack. The day after Izuku had gotten his ring, Bakugo had confronted him over what had happened. While Midoriya had little idea of what had happened, he had gotten the gist from that ion creature that now resided in his head, and had tried explaining it to the best of his abilities. Bakugo had scowled and demanded that they fight each other to see who was stronger, on the basis that not even a god can help you beat me. Hold on, Kacchan! I just got this power last week. I can't do much in just a week, even if Ion says otherwise. Midoriya muttered as he hid behind his construct. How subpar. You are capable of doing much more complex things, Ion told him from inside his mind. You can make anything your mind can imagine. And I've seen those thoughts in your head regarding all those hero costumes and gadgets you were going to use when you got your license. You have intimate knowledge of so many pros and their own equipment. So why aren't you using any of those ideas? And do not lie and say that you don't have the will. I chose you for the determination you had. I don't think I'm... someone like Kacchan has so much more determination, way more than I ever could. He'd be a much better host for you than I ever would be. Deku muttered. Tch, worthless nerd. Can't even use a borrowed power correctly. Bakugo spat under his breath. Are you saying that Ion, was wrong in choosing you out of the other billions of humans and countless animals on this planet? In addition to the dozens of planets that Ganthet passed when flying me here. That with my billions of years in existence, that I would make a mistake in choosing my host after only a few million years in the power battery. Izuku gulped. While Ion was not the most emotive, he seemed a little peeved at his host's words. Allow me to explain how you're supposed to act as the torchbearer. With the exception of someone like Agent Orange or the Butcher, you are the most powerful of any Lantern Corps. You are the most powerful person on this planet with just the ring, even disregarding the boost my power gives you. This friend of yours has little sense of morality and is a better candidate for the yellow or indigo lanterns than a green lantern. When I was observing the humans on this planet, I noticed that a lot of them held either far too loose a sense of morality and or have a far too weak sense of determination to host me. The first and second ranked pros, All Might and Endeavor, are too flawed to host me. All Might is dying and succumbing to his fear, and Endeavor is narcissistic and lacking in kindness. No one you know would make a suitable Green Lantern, and few pros can handle the necessary responsibilities that come with being the torchbearer. You are the most suitable for me because you have no preconceived bias toward your own strength. You see your quirklessness as a flaw. I see it as the reason for your lack of vanity and the main motivator for your aspirations to be the greatest hero. And you will be one. You have the motivation, and I have the power to grant it. Tears welled up in Izuku's eyes as he began sniffling. Aion, thank you. You are welcome. Now please, beat the Yellow Lantern in the making.
The hell was all that about?
Bakugo, having only heard Izuku's side of the conversation, was left baffled by the strange scene before him. But there was one thing that kind of irked him. Deku was now looking a lot more confident. As in, he looked like he was going to fight Bakugo confident. Like Deku could beat him.
Whatever.
He shook his head.
I don't care what your little ghost friend said. Just come at me! Just come at me, and I'll show you how much better I am!
All right, Kacchan. Get ready! They charged at each other, explosions racing at the newly constructed mecha suit of pro-hero Gang Orca. It seems Izuku had definitely decided to use his full arsenal of knowledge when crafting his constructs, much to Katsuki's chagrin.
Die!
He screeched as he fired off a giant explosion, completely engulfing the hero-themed armor. The blonde waited for the smoke to clear as he jetted back, the heat from his explosion scattering the sand at the beach they were at. Katsuki smirked.
That ought to teach you how much better I... Don't count me out yet!
As the smoke cleared, Gang Orca Izuku yelled out as he continued his charge at his opponent, completely unharmed. No way. He wasn't even harmed? Bakugo whispered. Could it really be possible that Deku was now... He shook his head before blasting into the air. It was just a lack of proper aiming. That suit had to have a weak spot, and Bakugo would bust it open in one blow. As Midoriya and Bakugo were duking it out, Sade was finally making her way to the location that Adara had been asking to be brought to. It was some sort of field located inside a large complex of sorts that Sade had flown to. Is this it? The Guardian asked the entity residing in her blue ring, wondering if she'd finally made it. Yes. This is where the one known as Mirio, my future host, resides. Once I bond with him, you may leave to find Ganthet. Adara responded. Sade nodded, though Adara shouldn't have been able to see it, and looked around the field for the one called Mirio. You said that Mirio would be here, but I see no one else aside from... Are you talking about me, miss? A voice called from below her. Looking down, Sade was met with a face coming out of the ground, seemingly detached from a body. It unnerved even the immortal Guardian. Are you Mirio? She asked him. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wait, give me a second. Before she could even blink, the rest of Mirio's body came out from the ground, passing through it like he was a Martian. There we go. And hey, I got my clothes to stay on this time. Now then, what did you need, miss? Sade just held out her hand, the blue ring glowing and floating over to Mirio. Mirio Togata, I am the entity of hope, Adara. Will you be my host? Sure. He smiled and gave a thumbs up before opening his palm, allowing the ring to slip on his finger. Excellent. Now, if you'll excuse me, my task is fulfilled, and I have another matter to attend to," Sade said as she flew away in an effort to find Ganthet, hoping that he'd found the host of Ion. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to thank our patrons, BD Flames, Ethan Davis, Terry Chills, Shifter Meals, Adam Zagel, Zill, XAV Beat 03, and Joshua Phelps. Secondly, I'd also like to thank all of our channel members, Toy Acosta, Rob the King, Sith Lord 906, CF2364, and Knuckles, Rimuru Tempest, Angel Juarez, Donald C. Stewart, Bryant Greer, and Demonetized Fox. Thirdly, if you are in the mood for some great storytelling, and who isn't, We the Celestials has got you covered, buddy! We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Fourthly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. All of their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members 16 years or older to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, I do declare that does seem to be it for the video here today. Once again, everybody, I would like to thank you all so much for watching. I have been the Spirit of Vice, hoping that you have a great day.